Hola amigos, me llamo Shewa. Bienvenida a mi canal. Today we're going to be talking about the best areas that I recommend for newbies. Vámonos. Let go. Alright y'all, let's get into the video. Before we go anywhere, be sure to like the video, comment down below, subscribe, and share this video. I really appreciate it. So, I want to first off say that I don't know what you like in particular, but I'm going to base my research off of like what I know to be true of my own fellow Americans and for like comfort level and also my little experience that I have living here. So, what are some of the best areas? This is going to depend on what you like, your taste, your budget, your tolerance level. So yeah, let's keep all of that in mind as we're going forward with this video. Okay, so when you look at Merida, it literally makes like a little oval or circle, right? So anything inside that circle and maybe surrounding cities that's close to that circle, I recommend for newbies. Let's talk about a little bit of each neighborhood, okay? So let's start with Kinnison for some reason. Let's talk about that, right? This is an up-and-coming area because of Train Maya. Train Maya actually, you can actually get on Train Maya in Kinnison. If you haven't checked out my video already, I did the walking tour for La Plancha, Park La Plancha, and I also showed you guys how to catch the bus to get on Train Maya. So this video would be in conjunction with that one. So definitely watch that video. So we're gonna talk about Kinnison. Kinnison, I wouldn't really recommend any newbies first time coming in. It is going to be an up and coming tourist attraction because of Train Maya. Now I've heard through the locals, well, one local, that it wasn't safe, and one of my subscribers did comment and said that don't go out there in that area. So it's still developing. I wouldn't recommend anybody to live there, okay? I'm not saying that it's bad or good, but it's just what I'm hearing about this area. Kinnison right up there, you see that K word right there? So yeah, so let's move on to the next area. So the next area we're going to talk about areas that I find that a lot of aspects or immigrants or foreigners live in. What areas do they tend to go toward? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Most people seem to do the same thing and live in the same areas, and that is going to be the north part of Merida. So let's talk about the north part of Merida. Now, I think a lot of American foreigners, aspects, immigrants, I think they go toward this area because it gives them a lot of comfort. It gives them a sense of home. I actually personally love to be in this area. It definitely reminds me of home, but I particularly like to feel like I'm in Mexico, not like I'm in America. So I love the area. I think it's a great area to be in for newbies because I know a lot of times when people come down here for the first time or visiting, you're like, where are my people? Where are the other people, the other, foreigners? Where are they? So you would definitely find them in the north part of Merida. Okay, so I don't know if your Airbnb or your hostel or your new house or apartment is in this area, but this is the area where most people are. Okay, so let's start off with one neighborhood. I think people like these areas because there's so much in the area. There's museums, there's malls, your Uber or drivers will be familiar with the area because they'll be familiar with English speaking people too, because once again, this is where a lot of Americans tend to live, right? So it's not as foreign, I would say, like as other places. So let's take Francisco de Montejo, for example, very regal area in my opinion. There is a mall, I believe the Galleries Mall, one of the biggest malls in Merida, is located in that area. The houses are outrageously beautiful and big. The streets are nice and straight and paved. The sidewalks are nice. It reminds me a lot, honestly, y'all, of being back home. So there's even the Mayan Museum. There's Costco. in this area, Walmart in this area. So it gives you a sense of comfort at the same time. You kind of feel like home, and then you get to see a lot of aspects, and then it's very modernized. So there's even a Mercedes-Benz dealer, a BMW dealer, and I think Tesla is also in Francisco de Montejo as well. And I could see why people go to that area, because it definitely would give me, as a newbie, a sense of comfort, like, oh, I'm at home, because everything is so developed and there's a lot of attractions and a lot of stores and everything is like in the area. So I understand why people go toward this area. So if you were thinking about this area, or you know somebody that lives in the area, or your Airbnb may be in this area, or anything, highly recommend this area for any newbie. As y'all can see, there's the Harbor Mall. I created a little mini vlog. I'll try to link it down below so you guys can see how beautiful that mall is. And if you were to watch that video, you would see there's an overview of a lake, and there's these nice little condos right across from the mall. Really beautiful, really regal. It's like paradise. And then also in Francisco de Montejo, there is the Maya Museum I was telling y'all about. Then there's the city center. I did a vlog showing you guys what the city center looks like. It's like a mall, like a plaza type of deal, you know. And then there's a Walmart. There's a lot of banks and different stores and restaurants in the area. It's very, very, very nice, and I highly recommend it for new aspects, immigrants or foreigners. Highly recommend. And then there's an area called San Roman Norte, we're going to talk about. So this area I also highly recommend. There's a Home Depot in this area, the city center is in this area. I highly recommend. I think this is considered the uptown. You see how it just cut off on the side. I think this is the uptown part of Merida. I recommend it. It makes you feel a way. It makes me at least feel like I'm at home. I feel comfort. I see all these stores and different names and brands that I'm familiar with. And then this is the area, like I said before, that a lot of people visit or live in. Foreigners, immigrants, aspects, they tend to be in this area. So it'll give you a sense of home if that's what you're looking for. There's even a hospital not too far from this area. So yeah, I highly recommend San Roman Norte as well. The houses are usually big, like really big, modern types of houses. So, okay, so this next area. Every time I ask anybody, it could be a friend, a person I met at the airport, somebody I randomly met somewhere, oh, what area do you live in? What do they say? Colonial Ultra Bistro. And I get it. I absolutely get it. I kind of feel like this area is like where a lot of the younger people tend to live in. It's beautiful, beautiful condos, beautiful apartments, beautiful houses. And let me tell you something about this area here. I feel like some of my favorite restaurants are in this area right here, okay? And some of the best restaurants in the city is in this area. Okay, they come with their A game because a lot of foreigners, aspects, or immigrants live in this area. Highly recommend. You're in the middle, not really in the middle of Merida. You are not too far from all of the other attractions in Merida. So if you want to head to Central or any elsewhere, you'll be able to do so, and you're still in the circle. You're still in the oval. You know what I mean? Grocery stores, movie, malls, plaza, casinos. Everything you can name. It's a very classy, look, this area is made for people of a certain standard, okay? I highly recommend it for newbies. Look, there's a Walmart here too as well. Highly, highly, highly recommend this area. You will run into people that speak the same language as you, or that look like you. And I think it gives people a sense of comfort because of that. You know, it makes them feel like, oh, I'm at home, you know, because not every part of Merida is like these areas. So this is why I'm recommending these areas to you guys. Now, if you don't care about all of the comforts of life, having to, you know, see green scenery, then I got some more areas for you that you might want to explore. But these are the highly recommended areas because a lot of people are here. It would give you a sense of comfort. I know people complain and be like, I don't know, where are the other people here? You know, and they're because they're in the north. You know what I mean? This is beautiful areas, condos are so pretty out there. Everything is pretty out there, and then and most of all, you're still inside the circle. You're still inside the circle. But there's a casino in this area. Like, I'm telling y'all, every time I have to like order like from a restaurant, and the food is like really like rico, like it's really good, like it's really rich, great quality. It's from here. Like, they come with their A game. Okay, they come with their A game in this area. So highly recommend Colonial Altruistica for newbies. You would definitely meet other aspects or immigrants or foreigners, and you will get a sense of comfort like you're at home. And you might even meet people that speak English in this area, because like I said, this area is made up of a certain demographic of people. So let's talk about the 3 C's. That is Consal, Cuncal, and Cholul. Now, I'm naming these areas because every time I'm asking an aspect whether they live, I meet somebody, or whatever the case may be, they're living in these 3 C's areas. Now, I don't recommend any newbie. I don't recommend you to live out here, because let me tell you why. Because once again, we talked about this little oval, right? And anything inside that little oval, that circle, you're going to be all right as a newbie. But when you're going outside, sometimes that can complicate things, because it's still developing, all right? Especially in Cuncal, all right? If you don't have a car, if you don't know anybody that live out there, and you don't know too much about the city, I wouldn't recommend you all to go out there. Consal is probably not that bad to go to live in or visit. Now, Consal, you may be able to like get away with, because it's so close to Merida. When you look at Consal, it's so close, so you may be able to get away as a newbie, like being okay with being in the area. But I also feel like it may be a good area because there's so many immigrants, aspects, foreigners that live in those areas, but at the same time, it's like suburban type of areas. So everything is spaced out, the houses are spaced out, especially in Cuncal, right up there. Very quiet, things like that. And if you have a noise sensitivity like I do, I highly recommend you guys to go in those areas. But however, if you're a newbie, I wouldn't, because once again, it's still developing. You need a vehicle, you need reliable transportation. If you don't know how to catch public transportation, So one of those C's, we're going to talk about Cholul real quick. Now, there's 2 Choluls. There's San Pedro's Cholul, and then there's like the regular Cholul. Now, I've been in both, and they're both beautiful. Like, the homes are outrageous, and it's, for the most part, it's quiet, and it's close to stores, because if you look at it, it's not that far off from the circle, you know what I mean? Like, so there's stores, but you still have to have a car, or to get around to get your needs, your food, and things like that. So I recommend you guys to have a car. But I feel like maybe you can get away with having a bike, or maybe you can get away with like walking to some of the main stores. But I feel like the way the roads are, I wouldn't really recommend that. So, like, again, say it again, if you live on the outskirts, I recommend y'all to have some type of vehicle or reliable transportation. And I'm not saying that you can't not get an Uber or a DD driver or a taxi to go out there in these areas, the 3 C's. I'm not saying that. You can, but however, what if you can't? You know what I'm saying? So wouldn't really recommend anybody to go out there without even at least having a personal driver that you can call up. And if you have kids or you have an elderly parent that you're taking care of, I would want you guys to have a car, okay? Be safe rather than sorry, because it's still developing in Cuncal at least, and it's so far from the city, and anything can happen in any moment. And there are still wild animals out there. Like, I used to see wild animals all the time in Cuncal. So that's something you have to keep in mind, okay? I don't think the animals are like dangerous, or anything like that, but it's peaceful, it's paradise. If you have a noise sensitivity, highly recommend the outskirts of Merida. So I wouldn't recommend the 3 C's for any newbie. But I feel like just take your time getting to know the inner part of the city, and then once you're comfortable with that and you feel like, okay, it's too noisy here for me, or it's just a little bit too much, or you got a car and you got more established here, then I say, yeah, shoot for it, go out there, because it's there are a lot of aspects that live in those areas, y'all, the 3Cs. But however, these people probably have most likely been here for a while. So I wouldn't recommend a newbie to go out there, okay? Unless you know somebody and you're living right next door to that person, you know what I mean? So, and then another thing is, like, you may not run into people that speak the same language as you all the time, because everybody's spaced out. It's like a suburban type of country area, right? So you won't run into people as much as you think, versus being inside that circle, being inside that little oval. And another thing to consider is that the app Rappi does not work or service the outskirts of Merida. I don't know about every little small town, but I know for some little small towns, especially the 3Cs, I don't know about Kansas, but they don't come out there. So if you're a newbie, you want to get your bite to eat, you just came from wherever you came from, and you want to eat something, order something, Uber Eats or whatever, and it doesn't really service your area, that can be a complication, especially if you're living on the outskirts of Merida, because you don't know where any grocery stores are. And in most cases, they don't really register their businesses on Google like how we have our businesses registered in the States. And I'm not saying that there aren't businesses that don't register their businesses with Google. I'm just saying that sometimes you won't be able to find them on Google. So stay inside the circle. It's safer that way. So in the next 5 years, they're expecting Merida to grow, and they're expecting people to inhabit those outskirt areas, those little towns you see. So if you ever traveled from Merida to the beach and you saw all this land, right? This is the areas where they're estimated that about 5 years that people will inhabit it. So maybe within about 5 to 10 years, depending on the date that you watch this video, maybe Rappi or Uber Eats may say, hey, we're now servicing your area, but for the time being, they're not, because there are not a lot of people that's living out there. So if you're a newbie, don't go out there. Just stay inside the oval, stay inside the circle, because like I said, there aren't a lot of things that the city has that the outskirts of Merida has. It's still developing as we speak. So no restaurants, not too many hospitals, not too many stores. Like literally, if you were to travel from Merida to that main highway, 176, and this one right here, you will see so much land. And you will see like little privadas that are like starting to develop, and apartments and condos that are just like being constructed. So that land, all of this land is predicted to be occupied within 5 to 10 years. So maybe then you will get Rappi and Uber to service your area, and you will probably see a lot of more restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, businesses just pop up in the area. But for the time being, just stay in the city. Like, I definitely recommend you guys. So you see all of these different little towns around the city. That's the one we're referring to that will be occupied. That's what predictions. So if you are a person who doesn't really care about living in the north, and you like to be in the middle of all of the drama, the commotion, this is the perfect area for you. This is central. This is downtown area of Merida, and it's close to a neighborhood called Jesus Carranza, and we have Parque La Plancha, Parque Santa Luca, Grand Parque La Plancha, and so many other attractions in this area. If you are a person who can deal with the noise and deal with a lot of foot traffic in your neighborhood, this is your area. And when I tell you, you always have the best chills, you don't really have to go anywhere for anything. You can walk or bike in your neighborhood. Probably the best neighborhoods I would recommend for newbies. There's always shows and things like that going on in this area. There's always something going on in this area. Like literally, it's very walkable to another attraction, Paseo Montana. I literally just created a video giving you guys a walking tour of La Plancha. It's such a beautiful park, and if you live in this area, or your Airbnb or your hostel, or you're renting, or you're thinking about buying in this area, I would definitely highly recommend it. And like I said, it's close to Paseo Mateo. You see the monument, that is the fatherland monument. So it's in Paseo Mateo. It's another touristy type of attraction. So I would highly recommend this area for newbies, because if you want to walk everywhere, you can. You can have food delivered. There's restaurants that would deliver in the area. It's very developed. So many businesses, and like I said, with that comes a lot of foot traffic as well as noise. If you can deal with that, and you have to be a part of the action, this is the neighborhood I recommend, and also this neighborhood right here. And going west of this neighborhood is the area called Miguel Eliman. So Miguel Eliman is another recommended area. A few blocks, if you see that C that says C39 way up there, that is where the new buses pass through for Train Maya. And yeah, it's a great area. Very, I ain't gonna say it's touristy, but it reminds me of like an old neighborhood. But there's a popular park, Parque de la Eliman. I think I created a little mini vlog on that, so you guys can kind of see how that area is. And if you look at it, it's not too far from Central, which is like the main part of the city, right? Where everything pretty much goes down, right? So this is another area, and below that, there's Jesus Carranza is somewhere around here, and then let me get to another area, y'all. It's Las Americanas. Y'all see it's up here, and it's considered to be in like the north. In my opinion, there aren't a lot of expat immigrants, foreigners living in the Miguel Eliman area, but there are a lot living in the Las Americanas. Y'all see, I'll have it circled for y'all because I can't reach my hand over there. So there, I think this is considered the north part as well of Merida. There is a lot of expats that live, expat immigrants, foreigners, not trying to offend nobody. There's a lot of people living in that area, and they have like really nice homes in that area. Like really nice homes in the area. So I do recommend that area, as well as, like, as you can see, it's still, Los Americanas is still close to Central. I mean, it's a win-win situation. You will be able to have everything you need delivered to your door. You would have no problems. It's, you know, it's a great area, kind of sort of like the north. I feel like Los Americanas kind of give me the feeling like I'm in between north as well. Another area is Juan Pablo. I've heard a few people say that they live in Juan Pablo. So there's two of them. There's one and there's two. So they have one and there's two, right? So I don't know which one, when the person told me where they live at, I don't know which one they were referring to. But yeah, this is another area to look out for. And just keep in mind, as long as you're inside that circle, you should be fine. That oval, you should be fine. So every neighborhood literally is kind of the same. You will have like the same thing in every neighborhood, right? You will always have a grocery store, a water fountain, a gas station, a clothing store, some restaurants, a bank. You probably even have a Walmart in each neighborhood, but I'm pretty sure there's like Walmart strategically plans and place their stores in between multiple neighborhoods. So you have everything you need in every neighborhood. Just like I said, once again, just stay inside the bubble. If you're a newbie, just stay inside the bubble, because that is safer for you if you don't know what you're doing. So as you see that Las Americanas, there's one and there's two. It's also kind of sort of located in this area as well. And as y'all can see, like I said, it's like literally, this is the north of Merida, and then a little bit further north, you'll run into Timozan Norte and Las Americanas. So beautiful area, so secluded. You would have thought like, it gives me celebrity vibes. It gives me I'm a celebrity. It gives me I make a lot of money. It gives me I'm wealthy vibes. So it gives me I need quiet time vibes. So this area is so beautiful, y'all. Like, I've seen, of course, anybody can be in this area. Anybody's in this area. But I think when people come here, if you're looking for seclusion and that luxury feel, stay in the north of. So in this area, there's also a popular archaeological site right up there, and there's a little neighborhood. I don't really recommend that neighborhood because I feel like there are not a lot of foreigners, aspects, or immigrants that actually live in the area. and it's really like a little small town or whatever. Now this area here has a university, a college, and close to a hospital, so it's better to live in this neighborhood than to go further north, like in Kunkal or something like that, for the time being. And like I said, it's close to the bubble or the circle, right? As you see, there's city center here, so this is the north of Merida. So I recommend this area. It's very secluded. It is nice. The scenery never disappoints. There's a whole bunch of green trees surrounding you. They have beautiful condos out there, y'all. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful houses. So if you're a person who likes seclusion, now if you're anything like me and you just absolutely love being at the beach, being around the beach, I'm going to recommend these areas for newbies. Well, first of all, because you're a newbie, stick to Progreso, because it is the biggest beach that we have here, or the most popular beach that we have here in the region. And so people are used to seeing tourists there. And even in Siso and Telshek, Porto, people are used to seeing Americans and just tourists in general there. So you're gonna meet people that speak English. You may meet people that look like you or maybe from the same country as you in these areas. I recommend these areas. I feel like they're relatively safe. For a newbie though, however, I recommend you to just stay in Progreso at a hotel or an Airbnb, because it's more populated and most people go there. So, and then once you get used to being at Progreso, I mean, let's say about 6 months or so, then go venture off. So to add, this living in the Progreso area, it's pretty good to live in this area because it is a tourist area. So that means it has everything a tourist would want. There's hotels, a lot of hotels really in this area. You can get transportation back and forth to the city. There's public transportation. There's an auto Progreso bus that takes you directly to Progreso and to the city. And there's food, supermarkets, restaurants. There is a lot of attractions, y'all. As you see up here, there's a museum there right on the beach. So if you're thinking about staying in this area, I do recommend it. It's nice, it's relaxing, and they're used to seeing tourists in this area. So you also meet a lot of other tourists and stuff like that, so you won't really feel like you're a strange out, or it won't feel foreign because there are other people out there. So yeah, I recommend Progreso area. All right, you guys, that is pretty much it. Let's go down the list one more time. So we got Juan Pablo, we have Alta Vista, we have Las Americanas, we have Miguel Iliman, Paseo Montejo, Francisco Montejo, we have Progreso, we have Coan. We don't really recommend those for people. They're newcomers, right? The 3 C's. I think it's Casal. I know I'm probably saying it right, but anyways, y'all know what I'm saying. Casal and Chalou. And then there's the second Chalou. So there's so many different areas that new expats or immigrants or foreigners can live in Merida. Alright amigos, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If you feel like there's some areas that should be included in this video, comment down below and let people know what areas would you recommend for newbies first time coming to Merida, Mexico. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Hasta luego.